What's up, guys? This is XV Pod. Co-hosting over here is Chris Hinckley. I'm Weston Richey, and we have some amazing special guests. I know you probably hear that often, but these guys are on a whole different level of business, mindset, physical. I mean, you can look at these guys. They don't even fit in the widescreen. We got Tom over here. We call him Hitman, and we got Tony the Goat. What are y'all's other nicknames? I mean, what else you got?
Oh, man, I don't know where they all came from, but Tony calls me the Honey Badger all the time.
Honey Badger, Terminator. I mean, he's had many over 16 years. Yeah.
Tony, what's all your nicknames?
I'll just claim the GOAT now.
The
That's
GOAT.
I only need one. Right. Only need one.
then
The
we-
goat of many things too. We'll find that out a little bit.
Yeah,
later.
and then we got Aquaman or we got Thor. Either way you want to look at him.
Thor's the popular one, but yeah, we'll go with whatever. For Toasty, whatever you
Post
name it.
Malone,
Post
Toasty Malone.
Toast Malone, you name it. They keep coming every
All right,
week.
Chris. So, question: how long have we known technically Tony?
Gosh, that's a great question. When we first met, it's got to be like 2-3 years ago now.
Yeah.
3 years ago, I
probably.
remember it distinctly. It was an
Yeah.
ice storm.
It was an ice storm.
It was an ice storm,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Yeah.
And we were sitting in the townhome. All of a sudden, we get a call from Leslie.
Yeah.
And you actually knew Leslie somehow, I forget, but she was like, hey, I need you guys last minute. We need a photo shoot at the office. Do you think you can make it? And we're like, challenge accepted. We're
Mhm.
driving in this ice storm,
Mhm.
45 minutes to meet up
Literally
with these
an
guys.
ice storm. I mean, the roads were closed, and that was her first project for me.
Was
she
it really?
had just started to work with me. You know, now I work with Eminent, and her husband own Eminent Nutrition. But at the time, I didn't really know her, and that was her first thing. Like, she was going to be my assistant for a little bit, set up podcasts, set up speaking events. And I said, man, Leslie, I need someone to come in and shoot us for Roofing Contractor magazine, because we were going to be on the cover
Last
Yeah.
minute.
last minute, and we needed someone the next day, and you guys made it, and that's how the
Yeah.
relationship began.
What's crazy about it too, though, is like,
Tell them about when we walked in.
well, that too. But the conversation was like, man, are we really gonna go do this? And we're like, yeah, we're gonna go do this. Like, that was one
Absolutely.
thing. And then I remember walking in, and I'm like, God, these are some swole motherfuckers. And then
They
Kurt
got
walks.
shoes
Yeah,
on.
and I'm like, where are we? Oh, everybody had cool shoes on. I'm like,
Mhm.
I felt so lame. You had your shoes, and Kurt had these like neon crazy shoes.
Oh, yeah.
And then what's the two brothers' names again?
Soto's.
Soto's
Yeah.
had the Dior Converse on. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I'm out of the
You
loop
had
here.
David.
First
got-
thing I said, Weston, these are not roofers. What do they do,
Yeah,
brother?
that's right. That's right. We kind of changed the game a little
And
bit.
then all of a sudden, this guy comes around the corner, and I'm like, that's Hitman. That's the guy.
That's it, man.
Why do we call him the Hitman, though?
I don't know. You started the name.
I like to call both of them Hitmans because I feel like there's personality traits where they're in the back of the room, they're observing everything, they're watching everybody, they're checking in on everybody, and they're like the snipers. They're like, I know what's going on at all times. Me and Tony over here being golden retrievers and
Yeah,
shaking hands and
yeah,
signing
yeah.
babies.
I was gonna say Tony's not a
interesting.
sniper.
Yeah,
He's
I like
an
that.
infantry guy, front line.
Yeah, I'm front line. Mhm.
You're the Navy SEAL, you know?
Mhm.
So it's cool to see the dynamic of being
Yeah.
able to build relationships over 3 years. Because honestly, it feels like a long time, honestly.
Feels like forever. I mean, the past 3 years for us has just been like nothing but growth and challenge
Yeah.
and pivoting. And it's same thing for you. I mean,
Yeah.
every time we come back and have a conversation, it's like you're doing this amazing thing and you guys are getting accomplishments and linears just climbing to the top, but you guys are there. Get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, we're
but
gonna
Yeah.
jump into that.
Oh, it's been great to see you guys' growth.
we
I mean,
feed off
yeah.
each other, man.
It has been. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. You know, you guys have already done so many events with us over that span of just 3 years. I mean, I gotta believe we've done 6-7 key events. I mean, from launch offs and galas and, you know, Kurt's 50th birthday. So we've got to experience some like really impactful moments in time. So it's neat to kind of be able to come together here and see wherever this conversation will take us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the cool part is like, obviously you have to have business, you have to have finances to live and do those different things. But over the 3 years, like I've learned so much from both you guys,
Yeah.
from like the mentor space. It's something we can actually look up to. You know, I know you guys are obviously watching somebody too, and you're like, man, I like the way they move. I like the way they do things. And for us, y'all probably don't get to hear that enough. You know, like from us, like we really watch you guys.
Yeah.
This isn't like, hey, they're doing this, that, and the other. It's like we're really observing because there's things and spaces where like that's going to be us one day in certain
Yeah.
spaces. So we want to say thank you guys, and we appreciate you both, obviously, for coming out here and doing different things. But
Yeah.
the
Appreciate
real reason
it.
we want to do these podcasts is to show experiences and also show our following and our network the amazing people you are first, not just the amazing business you guys have.
Mhm.
Right? That's the first thing is like when we recommend you guys everywhere, the first thing we say is these are great human beings before they're great at business.
Yeah.
And how many people do you know that are actually like that?
Yeah.
You know, like y'all are in a huge business space. You know what I mean? And how many people do you actually want to, you know, go hang out with or smoke a cigar with?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, nah, those aren't my people.
Yep.
And so it's kind of cool how we've all just aligned through our creative and then y'all's creative and kind of merged them together. So I remember getting on a phone call, you know, the next week going, hey, y'all move different, which is ironic because what y'all saying?
Yeah.
And linear, what's on the big wall?
Oh, we are not the same. Yeah.
Yeah. We are not the same.
We are not the same. And so it's kind of
Mhm.
crazy how we have our world and y'all's world, and then we got to
Mhm.
do all the cool stuff with, you know, the personal videos, you know, shout out Jesse Lee, rest in peace.
Oh yeah.
You know, it was a great,
Yeah.
that was an awesome part of life, man. Like we
It
got
was-
to see
it was
some cool
amazing.
things.
We shot with Eric Thomas. We haven't even released. We have so much
I
forgot about
content. We have under wraps, guys. One day we're gonna release it, and maybe
Heaters.
soon, maybe in the next month, we'll start releasing some of those. But Eric Thomas, I mean, we had some beautiful interviews that we did. You guys came out to Hawaii. I mean, we've had that time in Vegas. You guys have been a part of some of the competitive bodybuilding shows, so it's been a run.
It has. And the coolest thing, I think, with the Jesse Lee, I don't know if you guys remember, the last thing I remember her telling us was, you know, there's that saying that, you know, you have money doesn't mean you're happier. What's the saying? Money doesn't buy you happiness. And she said, no, money does buy you happiness. It's just people don't give enough of it away. And I was just like, man, I don't know if I said that correctly. Probably actually, but
it's along the same lines.
it's just it's cool to see her make the money and then, you know, give it away and live the life she was living. And I just think that was one of the coolest, impactful moments of our life and my life. Just to see how some
Man.
people move was
She
just
was
eye opening.
pouring.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
She was pouring, and to see her at the, you know, man. She called me a week before she passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
She called me a week before she passed, and she said, "I think I beat this thing. I beat this thing." She said, "I beat this thing. Like, I'm past it." And then a week later, I got the phone call, and I just remember thinking to myself, she's fighting for her life, and she's pouring and traveling all over the place. So for you to bring her up at the beginning, it's just, man.
yeah,
She still carries forward.
she's
with
still
us.
watching over us, bro. She's still
Absolutely.
laugh her freaking laugh, man. You can't
Yeah.
get over
She was an
the
amazing,
happiest part of that
amazing
goat
human being.
that goat jumping on her and her
Yeah.
laugh, man,
Yeah.
was just such a
We did the
memory.
goat yoga with her. That's
Yeah,
right.
And the paintings.
Wow. Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's when because I completely forgot about Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
Not that I forgot about him, it's just that moment with Jesse was just
Mm.
such a cool experience of life, you know, because you don't realize how much you have of it. And she lived every day as if it was her last,
Yeah,
you know, even
she
before
did.
she found out. And I think that's something we can all take in, you know, so
Absolutely.
super cool. Yeah, I mean, we want to talk about a few things on our podcast. Like, I think a lot of people talk about financial gain and different things, but we really want to talk about the mental health, you know, men topics, and just have an open space in today's society where you're heard, you're seen, and, you know, provide belief, you know. So we like to dive into some questions and, like, Tom, are you ready?
Always.
Always ready.
This is going to be a fun fact. I got to let the viewers know. It's his first podcast ever.
Let's go.
So I think we're popping the cherry today. Folks.
Oh,
Absolutely.
popping. I
He's
love it.
nervous.
I love it, man. Well, I just want to say thank you. You've taught me a lot about life, and we actually have an experience that I would actually like to bring up. And me and you've talked about this before, but I fucked up. All right, me myself, full accountability. I fucked up, and I want to share that experience on my side and your side because I think it's a really good life lesson to anybody that's hearing this, from, you know, business to friendships to relationships. But, like, can you share that story a little bit?
Well, we did have an install. So my role right now, I'm over operations. So part of that role is training everybody on product knowledge and then how we actually do installs. So, you know, as we evolve and grow, we put about $100,000, $120,000 into a whole training room that had a large LED screen and everything. And so we're broadcasting to all of our outer markets. And so I wanted to put a video together on how we actually do the installs from every single piece. So,
And we're talking about roofing, by the way.
so roofing, yeah, because we're in the roofing space. So, I get everybody decked out with all the safety gear and everything. Like,
Really making me
You
feel
know,
bad here.
because we, everybody's got their hard hats, their safety glasses, and their shirts and everything. But, they get old after a couple of installs. So we bought brand new everything. And Weston and his team are supposed to come out and be
It was
there
me.
at
It
6
ain't
a.m.
Chris. It was 100% me.
Supposed to be here at 6 a.m.
Oh boy.
And so I've got the whole team out there, and I'm like, guys, we can't tear anything off yet. We're waiting on Weston. So all of the guys, and I've got a photo of everybody all in front of the install and everything.
Wow.
And we're just ready to go. And no Weston. And I'm calling, and I'm texting, and I'm calling. And I'm like, man,
This guy.
I'm like, all right. So, I'm,
And I introduced you guys, so I'm like,
yeah. So, that's almost my first impression of you,
oh man.
you know. But, it's construction, so it's not like I'm new to challenges or anything like this. So, I mean, we've got to get the install done. But you did reach back out.
Yeah, no,
you
I tried to reach
apologized.
out because I woke up because, I remember so clearly we were nonstop traveling. And I got my Thursday and Friday mixed up. And I'm like,
Yep.
I woke up at 8 and I'm telling you, I was dressed by the time I jumped out of bed. I'm
He
like,
goes, I fucked up.
Oh,
I fucked up.
man, that feeling.
and I can't tell you how, that was probably the only time I can really remember we've ever fucked up.
Gut
like that.
wrenching. Because
Yeah.
we'd already done so many projects
Bro,
together.
like we've built a credibility. Like
Yeah.
this is a relationship I don't want to lose, and it was a
Yeah.
very impactful moment because I'm like, I gotta fix this. And
Mm.
one, he was like, "Hey, stay in bed," or I forget what he texted
Hey,
me.
so for our, so this is the thing, because we have a lot of guys, we have a lot of installs. A lot of times we're averaging, especially during storm season, we're averaging 30 to 40 installs a day. So we've got all kinds of things happening, and sometimes people aren't there for their installs and things like that. It's rare, but it can happen. So, I look at everything as a teachable moment. You're not one of our guys on the team, but I wanted to treat you like it and, give you some reinforcement.
I needed it. That's the thing. Like I
what did you
appreciate
say?
it.
So I didn't want to beat you down, but I wanted it to be real to you.
It was
you know?
real. It was so fucking real. I mean, I can't. And Chris knows me. Like I don't ever want to disappoint anybody, right? So I get there. I'm like, I gotta fix this. I'm like, I show up. I'm like, okay, well, he doesn't want me to show up. I'm like, I don't know what.
Oh,
to
you
do.
showed up to the
No, no, no.
install.
No, it was at 8 or 9 by the time
No,
when
I
got
told
there.
him, I said, bro, just stay in bed.
But I'm
Yeah, he said stay in
I
bed.
said,
but you
don't
went
worry about it.
anyways?
No. I
No?
I called a call,
I
no
told him
answer.
not
Okay,
to. I
okay.
said,
And
brother,
I'm like, he's Hitman. I'm
I
not
said,
arguing
don't
with the guy.
show up.
Yeah.
because he kept telling me he was apologizing profusely, and this is all over text. We could probably pull it up.
Yeah.
But I
Put it on
told
the
him, I said, bro, just stay home. Don't worry about it. He's
Mhm.
like, no, I'm coming. I'm gonna make it up to you. I'm like, no, it's done. Like, there's nothing you can do at this point because we didn't get the very beginning.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, but you're like that at the beginning, but you bring them back in and everything. So, I mean, it's
So then I get a text from his wife on Instagram. I'm like, oh, hell no. Hell no. I'm like, oh, this is already bad news. I'm like,
Yeah.
this does not sound good. She's like, hey, birthday's coming up. Was it her birthday or your birthday?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what time of the year that was.
Anyway, hey, I want to do some photos. I'm like, hey, you do realize your husband hates me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, not a good idea. Like, he's a big dude. He's a kind of a hitman. Like,
She didn't really know. She probably didn't know.
No, she
about-
did know. He told her.
Oh, she knew about that situation.
She's like, no. She's like, I know
Okay,
Tom. Like,
okay.
he's teaching you a lesson.
Yeah.
Like, blah,
That's
blah, blah.
good.
So anyway, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna be a man about this. I'm gonna go shake hands and say, hey, I fucked up. Like, everybody fucks up, but as long as they, in my opinion, don't beat around the bush. There's no excuses about it.
Mhm.
I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how I fix it.
Own
Here's
it.
how own it.
Yeah.
And so I remember being at the photo shoot area, and I'm like turned around, and I see him walk across the street, and he's like, and I could read it on his head. He's just like, what the fuck?
Oh, because you didn't know he was coming to shoot.
No.
Your wife
She
set
set
it
me up.
Yeah.
And I'm
set it
like,
up.
here we go.
But hey, it bridged the gap again.
did,
And here
it
we
did.
are,
So it was a good lesson though. But he walks across the street, and I shake his hand, and we kind of like dab up, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I fucked up.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Yeah.
Won't happen again. Blah blah. So we did the photo shoot, super fun. Ended up going to lunch, and I got to know like a lot of your story, man. There's so much respect. There's so much depth behind, what everybody sees on the exterior, man. The interior is huge, bro,
Yeah.
of who you are and how you carry yourself. And I'm sure you know a lot about that, but I want to tap into both that with you guys. It's like everybody gets to see the exterior side of you guys,
Yeah.
and we really focus on the interior and the exterior matching, and we get to see that because we've had these conversations a little bit, So like, Tom, when you have gone through the phases of your life, man, like what did you feel like was a wall you hit that you just kind of was like, I got to change?
I mean, for me, it's like you're always gonna struggle at some point in your life with one different aspect. For me, growing up, and as long as I felt like I'm moving forward in some aspect of my life, whether that be I'm growing in business, or I'm growing at the gym, or whatever it is, I'm growing in my relationship with my family. I've got to feel fulfilled in something. So, because not at any point you're not growing in every single thing that you're doing.
Right. Did you ever feel empty at a certain age or a certain time period in your life where you're like, man, I can't keep doing this?
I mean, there's always going to feel some kind of a lack of something. You're never going to feel fulfilled with every single thing. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on one thing per se.
Right.
But I mean, there's always something that I'm working on. I'm always working on improving something.
Right.
It's just like we were talking about before. You just gotta let your ego go. So as long as you can have your own guard down to yourself, you're not lying to yourself, you can always be open, then you're always able to change.
I love that. Tony, I want to ask both of y'all this question. He sees things that you might not see, and you see things that he doesn't see. What are some of the qualities of Tom that you really respect?
Loyalty, trust. Like, it's for 16, 17 years, like, trust is such a big deal. Like, being able to know that, like, when you're not there, that someone's got your back, someone's saying the right things behind closed doors. And so, a lot of times now, going through business with friends, with family members, I definitely would say I would typically steer against it, right, through my experiences, because it is difficult. Mm-hmm. It brings a lot of nuances that are not easy to overcome when you're dealing with personal relationships and business, because they crisscross, and a lot of times it can damage relationships. But the one thing I can say of why our relationship has worked so well is because of the trust factor, because he's as trustworthy. I trust him with everything, so I could trust him with my life.
Appreciate that.
And that's a big deal. So, for us to be working together for 16 years straight, and to think I've never actually had a blowout. I've never had a blowout in 16 years where we've actually been yelling or so upset at each other. That shows a lot about someone's character and their ability to work with someone. So I think the trust factor, he's as trustworthy as they come.
Man, I don't want to ruin the mood, but I'm sizing both of y'all up right now, and I'm over here thinking about this, and I'm like, which one has the dog? Like, I don't know who would win in the fight. Y'all talk.
What's interesting though, but to piggyback off of what Tony's saying though, it's like what's interesting is like in business, the way that you operate and the way that I operate is very different. So where your lane is hype, energy, sales, and I mean, you do a phenomenal job at what you do, and I'm more of an operator. The way that I sell is more through product knowledge and all of that as well. But just Tony's phenomenal at what he does. And we've working with somebody for 16 years. I mean, we started at LA Fitness together, so it was, selling over the table, meeting people out on the workout floor. But it was it's very different than what we're doing right now in a lot of ways, but there are a lot of similarities with it. So, where Tony was very good at selling with hype and everything like that, and I'm more of the knowledge back behind it and, convincing with logic, which, isn't always the easiest thing in sales, So at the very beginning, Tony, he's learned how to use that energy. I had to learn how to pick that up myself.
Yeah.
Because you can't necessarily just sell with logic. That doesn't work. So you have to bring that energy. But,
I'm going to tell you, boy, back in LA Fitness, when I got to say it, when I first met him, I didn't know the man was going to be able to sell. I mean, I wasn't sure. And that's the beauty. I think he's talking about the differences, the yin and the yang that made this relationship works so well over the years is because that thing that most don't realize is there's so many ways to skin a cat in sales. But for someone I saw at the beginning to what you've evolved to, it's that you mentioned earlier, Hitman, he's an actual sniper.
Yeah.
So he's a sniper. A sniper's got to be very detailed. So with the technicalities of it, when we came into roofing, he was phenomenal at understanding all the nuances that it came to roofing and shingles and installs. So being able to educate a homeowner thoroughly with the details as a sniper, where he built that trust and credibility in himself to do the project because of how knowledgeable he was.
Mm-hmm.
I was different. I was more.
Me and you were same.
Yeah, I'm sitting
Energy.
here and like listening to both of you talk, and I'm like, this is you talk about yin and yang. That's literally me and Weston to a T. And you talk about in the beginning getting into the sales process, you just wanted to hit them with logic because you're like, if I hit them with all this logic, how can they say no? I know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's where I was when I first started out doing this thing. Is like, I'm just going to break it down perfectly for them, give them all the knowledge, and they're going to say yes. But I'm missing the connection piece. I'm missing the relationship aspect. And that's what he thrives in. That's his natural strength. And so we kind of leaned on each other in that realm. And I learned from him. Yeah. And he learned from me. Yeah. Because, he needed structure where I needed the relationship, the communication, the training on that front, because that's where I steered clear of. I just focus on like, what's my brain good at? I'm going to run with that. Yeah. But let's get uncomfortable a bit. Let's dive into people a little bit and let's understand how to communicate with them. That's what we do.
Yeah. I mean, I think the craziest thing, and I think people have to look into what you said too, and this is what I love about our business and our relationship and our life, is that we have friendship and business. I think a lot of people do steer the other direction. You can't do it. You can't do this, but it's all back to approach, right? You guys can approach each other with, kindness and care and love versus anger and bitterness or ego, right? And like, we don't look at it that way either. Like, he's good at certain things, I'm bad at certain things, and we just mesh together on what I'm good at and what he's bad at. Yeah. And I've learned like now is, as a relationship side versus a transactional side, our friends want us to win. So what are they going to do? They're going to go talk to other businesses for us. Yeah. We don't have to go sell ourselves because we like to push that we're good human beings and we care about people, and it's about purpose. It's about passion. It's not about paychecks. And like, once we shift really into that, it's like all these alignment of the people that we really want to work with, that we want to grow with, not only turned into business, but they turned into friendships and family. It's like, why wouldn't we want to wake up every day, travel the world with our people we love doing it with, and then do what we love doing that? So it's like, that's what we shape everything around, is like, you wake up in 10, 20 years, who do you want to be on the yacht with? Yeah, absolutely. And then still do business together. Like, why is that so crazy? Yeah. And I think why I said now learning what I've learned, because we've worked with so many that were friends, let's say, or family members. And thinking about, as you were saying it, how you guys work so well together. You guys have worked so well together and grown what you've grown because you're both showing up. And you asked me another quality about him and why it's worked, is because when two people are coming together and you have a personal relationship, oftentimes it doesn't work in the business because you're not bringing value to the table and someone stops showing up. Right. And then it will hurt the personal relationship because someone's giving 100% and bringing all the value, and this other person isn't bringing value. He's been one to show up over the course of every single year, and I've shown up, and that's why it's worked. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's very real when you're both on the same mission and you're both in alignment, and that's one of the biggest things when we're bringing people into the organization is making sure that we're all going to dominate this space together, and that's why we're here. I mean, money is just going to be a byproduct of it. Success is a byproduct of it, but I mean, we're not here just to, make a couple of dollars and then go have a barbecue on the weekend. It's like we truly came in to dominate the space. So, and that's what really drives you. And then, I mean, it just feels like, for me at least, you keep your head down and you're working, and then, years later you pick your head up and, man, we're dominating the space just like we said. But,
Yeah, to think off the bat, I remember when Kirk called me about starting Linear, and the first Zoom call with Neil, one of the original owners, right? It was us four.
Neil, you're a crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah, amazing. Papa Neil. we said we were going to set out to change the game. So like to put our head down and do the work, and been so much adversity. Every year there's something you got to overcome. But knowing that, man, we were able to put our head down, and knowing that most of the competition would find a way to flounder and make an excuse and find a way to distract themselves, we just haven't allowed those outside distractions to destroy us. And we've just not given in.
Absolutely.
And you talk about where you guys started, but now you're the number one re-roofing platform in the U.S., correct?
Of our space. Like,
of your space?
So when you talk insurance, when you talk dealing with insurance, restoration, residential,
okay,
we're number one. There's many other types. There's retail, there's commercial, but when it comes to like insurance, re-roofing, dealing with hail, dealing with hurricanes, I wouldn't put no one above us.
Number one.
Strong house.
Let's go.
Strong House.
And it's been 10 years, right?
It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Linear's a part of Strong House now. So, you know, Strong House is the platform, but Linear, you know, was a brand that, I mean, we ended up growing 10 years to where, you know, to do 100 million in the residential roofing space, and now we're doing it 3 years in a row, just residential, not commercial. It's a big feat in the space. And so now Linear's sharing those best practices with the other brands that are coming into the platform, and eventually this whole thing will be morphed into what is Strong House, and it's going to be you know, on a TV near you. It's just incredible to see what it's grown to,
as it should. And I want to step back just a half a second.
Yeah.
Building a team, I think that's the thing, and I want to talk about it a little bit. Like, people aren't on y'all's level, right? Y'all are one of one, or one out of million, right, of what y'all are doing. It's not, y'all are doing something that's not been done before, right?
You're saying the organization?
Yeah, just in general. Like, y'all got
Culture.
together. Yeah, y'all are just doing things different, right?
Yeah.
We're not the same. But building a team, for anybody that's listening, is like, how many times were you guys told you were crazy? Like, I'm asking you.
How about for you?
I mean, we didn't really come from the roofing space. You know, I had a construction background before I was in sales. When Tony told me that he was going to get into roofing, you know, I thought that he was crazy. Like, I didn't know if he was talking about like he's going to be the one up there hammering and all of that.
They thought I was crazy.
So, I mean, to be truthful on it at the very beginning, I'm like, you know, Tony's my brother, and I'm like, part of me was like, man, I need to do this with him just to make sure that he's all right, you know? like he's never swung a hammer before in his life.
He's running football though. He can float.
So,
that's funny.
Oh, yeah.
So when we came into the roofing space, you know, we didn't really know a whole lot about it. So we don't know what we don't know. But the thought process was, I mean, what we were seeing was there wasn't really a whole lot of professional contractors out there from what we had seen. You know, we hear about in the DFW area, it's like the mecca for hail from what we had known at the time. Again, this is very limited information for us, but you know, when we came into it, it was 2016. So the company started in 2015. Tony came in, like June or something of 16, and I came in like September. So we had just had a huge storm in Wiley, which was like 4-inch hail, and it was going through the plywood of people's homes, and they had to replace cabinets, things like that. So it was insane. So that was our introduction to this thing, you know. But I mean, my interpretation of the industry when we first came in is there wasn't really a whole lot of professionalism around it. So one of the things that we were doing is just, instead of trying to bring in a bunch of roofing people, we were bringing more in sales professionals and teaching them the roofing basics, you know, and that really, I think, changed the game. So to answer your question, did anybody call us crazy? I mean, I thought Tony was crazy when he first brought it to me.
He thought I was crazy.
You know,
a lot of people thought I was crazy.
I don't know how vocal we were really
then
at
you
the
met
beginning
Kurt.
of this thing, though.
Well, you know, the craziness started when I even met Kurt. And this was even way before roofing, because I met Kurt at 21 years old, who was the founder of Linear, you know, with the original owner with him, Neil Palmer. And, you know, I was in school at the time. I was 21 years old, and I, you know, had offers to go to Harvard and Princeton. My parents were like, school, you need to finish your school, son, right? And all of a sudden, I got an opportunity with Kurt to run an LA Fitness Sports Club, a $10 million facility. And, get a director position, and I dropped out of school. So at that moment,
Did not know this.
they already called me crazy. At that moment, at 21 years old, everybody in my family, everyone around me said, "Are you crazy? You've been on this path. Your parents want you to go to school. You need to get your degree." And against everybody's will, I did what everyone said I shouldn't do, and I dropped out of school and I went all in. And I think from that moment, I started to understand that it's okay if they call you crazy if you're actually willing to go all in on what you're doing and not quit. And I keep telling people, not have a plan B or C. There is no retreat. I say this all the time because when I quit school, there was not an option. It was either I win at LA Fitness or I die. And in that sense, you're going to find a way to win. And then it became the same thing with Linear. 7-8 years into LA, we worked together at LA Fitness. We helped scale and grow, and I became a regional with them. And then all of a sudden, I'm 7 years into LA Fitness, and you would think I'm at the pinnacle of fitness. I'm a regional vice president, 26, 27 years old, running all the beach clubs off of Florida. I mean, you talk about from Palm Harbor down to Naples, beautiful. West coast of Florida, running 30 sport clubs. And all of a sudden, Kurt shows me the opportunity in roofing. And I say, you know what? I'm going to burn that whole career down to the ground because I see the potential here. And everyone again thought I was crazy. But when they think you're crazy and you then decide, okay, I can't fail because then all these people are going to be right.
Right.
I'm going to prove myself right by having no plan B or C.
Burn the ships, right?
Burn the ships.
Yeah, and I think I've been listening to, both of you guys. I think the one word that keeps getting repeated is willing. You guys were willing to do this. You were willing to take the chance. You were willing to work on your relationship. You were willing to be friends. You're willing to do business. I think that's the key word here is like, what would you guys give back to entrepreneurs that have been told crazy? Like, what would you tell them?
I mean, you gotta bet on yourself. We were fortunate enough that we've worked together in the past. So, I mean, a lot of it is that you're confident in what you've already accomplished, because a lot of what I look at is what we did. My first door knock went horrible, I don't know how it happened, but I was by myself on the first door knock. And like I said,
were you this size?
We didn't have any tools. We didn't have anything. So
Mr.
Tony,
Logic.
yeah, Tony said something about, I think you were you were at some family thing over in Florida.
I went to Florida, yeah, I remember.
He was in Florida, and I'm just driving around by myself, and I'm like, man, where am I going to find where the hail is? And I'm like, well, let me go where all the roofing signs are. We didn't have, so now we've got hail software that shows us where the hail fell, all of the different dates, so on and so forth. So anyways, first door knock goes horribly wrong because I knock the first door that, there's roofing signs all up and down the block, but there's this one house that doesn't have a roofing sign. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to knock that guy, It went horribly wrong. So, but anyways, I'm sitting in my truck afterwards and I'm like, man, we need to do something different. I called Tony. I said, hey, man, we need to get some scripts together. We need to change the process. Like we need to come up, just like we had with LA Fitness. You got a whole presentation that leads up to what you're going to be doing, So
I got back and I started working on some scripts.
Oh, Mr. Structure.
So,
and they became.
It's interesting because we see still. I mean, the roofing space has gotten interesting over the years because you see on social media there's a ton of people that are doing it right. There's a lot of great companies out there.
It wasn't as sexy before.
It wasn't like that, at least I didn't see it.
No.
No. And I mean, there's a lot of great companies that have been around for a long time, but I just feel like the way that we were doing it, it felt different, We've even had people come in and talk to us at certain events and everything. And it's like with the sales side of it, again, me being more of a process person, I need to have step by step on what to say, how to say it, sales steps. And then also, a lot of companies there are a lot of salespeople. We're very reactive. It's all about overcoming objections. But for us, even way back before Linear Roofing, we were working on a presentation. So if you just get your presentation so dialed in that you don't have any objections at the end, that's really the way that's the most professional and the best way for the homeowner as well. And it's also best for training too, because when you have your team out and your team keeps running into the same objection with a homeowner, you can know exactly where they missed in the presentation. So now you can go back and coach. So man, that first door knock, I was like, man, this is not how you do it. I don't know how to do it yet, but this is not how you do it.
You don't know the right answer. You'll learn doing it the wrong way.
Yeah, I think you asked something about the entrepreneurs. I think what was our advantage also was we didn't have any bad habits in roofing. In order to change a space, we didn't come in with all these habits that were already in the space.
Right.
We came in with a clean slate. It talks about in the 10X rule, not worrying about and thinking about your competition. You have no competition. That was a book that we read heavily when we first started the business, because it talks about truly dominating your sector. And in order to dominate your sector, you don't think about the competition. The competition only thinks about you. So when we walked into linear, we just put blinders on, like the horses when they start the race. And we just started to dissect, to Tom's point, what objections are we facing? What do we need to overcome? Let's figure it out. And we just kept taking every single step to figure it out. And how do we make this better, that better, this better? How do we overcome, to his point, from selling $8,000 to $10,000 training packages, 1-year agreements to people? Now we're collecting a deductible and we're doing all this work on a home. Like, the value was immense. So we had to just figure out, how do we present this to where we overcome objections and we make them feel that we're the best choice for them to go with in the situation. And lo and behold, we created the scripts that now are just, very sought after in the industry.
And like, we've heard some of the scripts because we've done some of the training courses, right? We filmed some of them, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
We learned.
You guys got some inside scoop. You guys have been in some of these trainings.
We almost went into roofing after that presentation. I'm not even lying.
They're watching the train like, this shit is easy.
This guy did 200 Ks first year. Like, we could sell
I mean, and the thing is, like, it's crazy because that's how we learn our business too, but it's I think people feeling safe and trust, like, going into knocking on a door is like, okay, you compliment, you make someone, feel appreciated. I remember pretty logically, right? I remember how it was broke down of how you get people to feel like it's not just a sell, right? It's a relationship. Yep. And so I think when you're in that sell, it doesn't feel like a sell because you're just, for some reason, they remember you guys because you were kind, you were thoughtful, and you took a different approach to how everybody else does it.
Yeah.
Like, are you really better at roofing than this other guy? Maybe not, but your relationship, your connection, and your communication skills are also with comprehension, where they feel understood of what you're doing. And so I think that's a really cool thing to think about is, how do you get that sell? To me personally, I think it's just growing a relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not necessarily the product. Like, there's
business.
There's a shit ton of people that do videos and that even do cooler shit than us.
Yep.
But why do we stay busy and why do people call us? Because they like hanging out with us, to be honest.
Why have we continued to work with you? We've had fun.
Well, let's ask.
Trips.
Let's
I'm actually curious. I was going to ask you.
You see what I'm saying?
Why do you work with us?
So why have I kept bringing you back? Because it's been a good experience with you guys. And it's funny because I say that to you guys of why we're still sitting here. We've done so many projects. I say, like, in our trainings, like, to Miss Jones, to the homeowner, it's like, to your point, there's many roofers that could just do your roof. We're not worried about doing your roof. We're looking to give you the best experience you've ever had with a GC in your entire life. Because if we could leave you guys ecstatic with that experience, and we've given you so much more knowledge than your past time with another roofer, you're always going to call us. You're always going to recommend us because you trust that we're going to take care of whoever you refer.
How do you feel like you guys remember people? Like, what's something that you feel like stands out that you're like, oh man, I remember that person or that client, or you know what I mean? Because you guys are obviously those people. Like, you can't forget him. Look at him.
And I would niche it down to like first conversations. Like, your first conversation with someone, you usually remember them or you don't. What's that one thing that helps you remember that person? Or maybe a few.
What do you think?
I don't know. I have a tough time remembering some people if they're not memorable. But it's interesting. It's more about kind of the situation that we're in. More situational. I guess it's hard when we deal with so many people all the time. Man, I can tell you addresses from 8 years ago though. So
Just remember,
you know,
We're the same human.
Rain Man.
It's I'm telling you, when you go through different experiences on different jobs, like that's how I've grown. You know, there's going to be some trial and error along the way, but man, there's always going to be something to learn out of every single thing that you're doing, especially with each install as you're learning and growing, you know. But as far as experiences and memorable, I mean, man, I can remember all kinds of different things on each install. It's just the way my brain works is a little different.
Yeah, there's so many customers that even from year one, I mean, now they're getting hit year 8, year 9, and they're calling me. We built a relationship. I think it's truly, you know, having that ability when you're with a customer where the entire world stops because they can feel your frequency.
Right.
They can feel your energy. They can feel that you're actually listening to them. So when you have that awareness of consciousness when you're with someone, like that is the only thing that matters. It's the only thing that exists is the now. There's no past. I'm not thinking about what I did yesterday. I'm not thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. When you can get a customer to feel it, they then get in tune with that, and then you share and create these magical moments that are unforgettable. So I think it starts with you tapping into the now and realizing it is such a miracle and beautiful thing. It's such a divine thing. So I think it starts with your awareness, and that other person is going to feel that authenticity and frequency from you, and it pulls them in and it draws them in. And that's what creates this relationship where it's like you're memorable to them and now they're memorable to you because you create that magic in the now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I pick up two things from you guys completely separate, right? Because y'all are the yin and yang, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's respect just because you can look on the screen. What's the respect? Can you clarify what it is when I see you guys for the first time?
It's you know,
where's the respect?
You can tell that we're disciplined.
Discipline's number one.
Yeah.
Right. Loyalty is for, straight for you. I want to refer you to anybody and everybody because I know you're going to treat them right. I want to refer because I know you're going to give them a great hug and you're going to pull them up higher than they can ever go themselves.
Yeah.
I want to refer you guys anytime I can because I believe in you guys as human beings.
You know, we're going to touch them.
Yeah. You're going to
soul.
grab and go, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Tony's going to get around. Anybody he gets around, he's going to believe in them.
Yeah.
That's a quality that you don't get to see very often. That's an aura. When you guys walk somewhere as a team, you guys are disciplined, you treat people right, you do the right thing to where the aura just creates where anybody that sees it wants to be a part of it as well as they want to brag about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you guys have done in the roofing industry is kind of stir that thing up and, you guys are unshakable. Right now, that's where we're trying to jump into is just be unshakable.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
You have to get thrown in the furnace, you got to get thrown in the storm, and you got to operate in it. And I think you guys have walked that through discipline of how you have kept up with everything that y'all have done in your life. I mean, dude, we can brag about you and you all day. Like one of the coolest things that I've never seen anybody do is build a huge company and also go to the Olympia.
Yeah.
Who's done it?
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
I don't know. Not in roofing.
That's why he's the GOAT.
That's the GOAT. That was the challenge to me. Like when I was in that moment of like, oh, should I do this? Like, can I do this? I knew at the moment in time when I started bodybuilding that it would also be perceived as a distraction.
That's fine.
Let's just call it what it is.
That's
because it's taking my time. But what a lot of people didn't realize was it was creating something within me and also showing others that anything is possible, that anything is possible that you can create in your mind. And to go become a champion, a universe champion, an Arnold athlete, all at the same time while juggling it and fatherhood, it showed people that they had no excuses. And so that right there within a culture where no one can come to me and give me an excuse because I've lived it, I've gone through such adversity, it's invaluable as a leader. So I think in leadership, it starts with you leading from the front and showing these possibilities to your people and gaining their respect to be able to lead them the right way.
I love the way that you just explained that. And I wish I would say that whenever people ask me why I ran a marathon last year, because it makes no sense. It was nothing that took away my time, energy. But man, that's exactly what I would say, is that it shows people that no matter what you got going on, and at the time we were maxed out. I mean, traveling all over the world nonstop. I was doing runs in a different state every single week. 15 miles, 17 miles, 20 miles.
Or every other day.
35 miles a week on top of 5 days of weight training and yoga and HIIT training.
Yeah.
All with working 12, 15 hours a day. And it just goes to show people that, yeah, you may be busy in life. You may have a kid, but you can do it. Yeah. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in a way, I was trying to prove that to myself.
Yeah.
But in some beautiful way, I started to prove that to other people.
Yeah.
And I started posting. And I was getting people starting to run, getting their whole families to go on runs, people starting to go after marathons. And I'll tell them, like, hey, you don't want to do a marathon. Man. Like, that's going to tear your body up. But it'll prove something to you.
And that win, you stacking up that win builds confidence in yourself to then say, oh, I could go after the next thing.
Anything.
And then the next thing and the next thing. And then you just start stacking. And then all of a sudden, people are looking at you like, oh my God, look at the resume.
Yep. And it's not even about the resume.
No.
It's about, what do you want out of life?
Yeah.
And there's one thing you said on stage that really stuck with me and I keep thinking about is a lot of people focus on the things that are not so good at, right?
Yeah.
And they want to improve it. But you said, why not think about what you're really good at and double down on it?
Yeah, your superpower.
That approach is so rare to me, and I've never heard that from anyone else. Can you just kind of dive into that for a second?
It's interesting because you're right. A lot of people will preach on like your gaps. What are your gaps? Close your gap. But it's like, maybe I could only bring that gap up so far because it's my weakness. Like my weakness is the organization and the structure and the detail. I'm not very good at that, right? And so it's like, I'm very good at being able to touch people and motivate and inspire and lift them up and that belief and sales. So why don't I double down on that? And why don't I touch every single person that comes in the organization instead of trying to put me into something that I don't love? Because if I don't love it, if I might not pour into it the same, but if I double down on what I actually love, then my uptick is so much greater. So I think that's been something that I've leaned into now over the course of now where we're at in our roles. Because now as we've scaled, we've become more into our own lane.
Right.
At the beginning, it's like you're juggling you're wearing a lot of different hats, right? And you start replacing yourself over time as you scale. But now it's nice to be able to put the specialist in their own lane and be great at what you're great at and master it.
Yeah, because it takes a team to do what you guys have built.
Yeah.
Right? It takes a team for us to get to where we want to go. We can't do it all ourselves.
Yeah.
So
we all built literally a USA dream team. You know, you got the head coach, you got the point guard, you got the center, you got everybody playing their role.
It's unbelievable.
In a very short amount of time.
You take, for example, Dennis Rodman didn't score points.
Yeah.
You got in people's head and you got rebounds.
Yeah.
Like you have a role for a shooter. Okay, well, I need to go do this. Like I think everybody, once they identifies those gifts, that's when things start clicking. But it's hard because you know, who really tells you your gift? You know, you almost have to figure that out yourself, or you have somebody that you actually truly believe in and go, hey, this is what you're great at, not good at. And you said something to ET. You said, go from good to great to unstoppable. Or did ET say that?
ET said that to me.
I'll never forget it.
He sent me a video one day. He said, you know, you might be good at this point or great at this point, but we both know that you have another level that you can go get. And that's to be untouchable, unstoppable. Like, how do you get to that next level?
Well, I think too is like we're all driven by challenge. I don't think a lot of people are, right? They're driven by pain or pleasure. That's the two things we're focused on, right? But I do think like being involved in that is, the word is obsessed. People hate it, but we love it because I feel like if you're not obsessed, like how do we have roads? How do we have shoes? How do we have cars? If someone's not obsessed with it, they wouldn't have made it. And so I think a lot of people, like especially like ADHD or you know Adderall or different medicines that make you hyper focus on specific things, that's not good for me. I need to be the crazy and I need to be a visionary and I need to, you know, be off the wall. Because when I do find that one thing that I'm obsessed with, I'm going to be untouchable with it. But I feel like when I was in school, I was just an outcast and I was crazy and I was all these other things versus just letting me do what I needed to do to be great at it or obsessed with it. And I think that's something that I think, you know, schools and you know, kids need to understand is let them really find a path that they love doing. Like we say this too often, but you know, everybody said work really hard and you'll be happy. Well, why don't we work really hard being happy, and then, sorry, I messed up the quote. Work really hard and you'll be happy, or find out what makes you happy and work really hard at it. You know, and I feel like that's what we really want to specialize with kids growing up is, you know, create the life you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you guys, I want to transition out of business for a second, right? I want to talk about the inside of life and, you know, what you guys have gone through. Like, Tony, you've gone through a lot of spiritual things recently, and, you know, seeing your life evolve. Did you kind of see yourself when you were younger kind of being where you are now, or you've kind of just been open-minded to seeing where life takes you?
Oh, definitely open-minded of seeing where life take me. I mean, I couldn't have imagined where we'd be at this point, you know? I think, you know, I know we're kind of veering off the topic of business, but when you talk the spiritual, from the spiritual aspect of growth that's happened for me, to me, inside of me in the last year, it's helped me in the business world tenfold. As a sales leader, it's helped me tenfold. And I'm going to give you one thing to get one more business topic in from a sales standpoint, is that I remember as we're coming up in LA Fitness and we're starting roofing, there was a lot of the ego involved. As we're going to the spiritual, there was a lot of the ego involved. I've had a multitude of ego deaths recently, and it's helped me because early in my sales career, you're focused on the target and the result, and you're attached to, like, you got to have this happen. You're trying to predict the future. But instead now it's more of, now I'm in tune spiritually to understand there is only the now with the people that I'm with. So now to detach myself from the result in sales sounds crazy, but it's a beautiful thing when you can just sit in front of someone and say, I am going to impact you at the highest frequency I can possibly impact you right now in this moment, and pour into your soul. And whatever happens from that is going to happen. I don't need to attach myself to the end result, because if I'm here with you and I'm giving you everything I got, I don't have to worry about the end result, because it's going to be beautiful and it's going to form divinely however it's supposed to form. And so that's shifted for me in a big way, because I now do all the onboarding and training for everyone that comes in. So just to kind of detach my ego from it and say, like, oh, this person has to go do this. No, it's like, I'm just going to give that person the best of me. I'm going to give that homeowner the best of me. And whatever happens from that is going to happen. And that allows this anxiety to leave you, because now you're not stressing about this outcome. It's a little opposite of what most salespeople would think, but it's a beautiful frequency to live in. Is only the now. There's no future. There's no past.
We talk about energy. People feel that when you're so focused on the outcome, getting to the end result. Like they feel that in the conversation.
Yes, they do.
And the more that you're present, like you're talking about, the more they build that trust with you.
Yeah.
And this feels pure.
Yeah, it's pure. It's a great word.
You have 15 people come in here try to sell me something. Like, I want something that feels real. I've seen it all. I've been through it all. You don't think that's the first person that's walked through that door to try to sell a room or sell a roof? Like, I want to connect with somebody, or most people do. Some people just want a transaction and get the hell out of my house.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, with what you guys do, would you say the number one thing was people first, probably? Or did y'all think product first?
No, that's the focus. You got to focus on the person first. I mean, the last thing that you want to do is talk about a roof when you first meet somebody. You know, it's an icebreaker. You want to connect with that person first, and then through that, you find out if there really is even a need there. And then at that point, once you've made that connection, then you can actually start to fill it, you know. Right. But I mean, it's just, that's basic in sales. You know, you got to make the connection first.
Yeah. So it's people.
Yeah. And it just becomes a part of what you do after a while, you know.
I want to ask you guys, and I want you guys hopefully to be super open if y'all are open to it, but do you guys feel fulfilled even with all the things you've done?
I mean, fulfilled is hard to say. I mean, it's one of those things where you're always going to want to accomplish more, you know? I mean,
do you feel like because y'all are drivers, right? Y'all are drivers. Y'all are going to constantly drive. What about the people that don't? I mean, some people would be perfectly happy with what you guys have built. What makes you guys drive?
I don't know. I don't know if I really understand the whole feeling satisfied, you know? You're always going to want more. It's just what's healthy, you know? what do you want more of? Are we wanting more because we have an ego, or are we wanting more just because we like to build things? For me, I like to build. I like to accomplish things. I like to build, and I like to innovate. I want to be on the cutting edge of something, and then I also want to help other people get there. In my role, part of what I do is I'm damage control on the back end. So if there's any kind of issues, and we've got 250 plus salespeople just in linear alone. So anytime that there's any kind of an issue, I'm one of the guys that has to reach out and make sure that things are operating like it needs to. So part of what we had talked about at the beginning, when you're talking about, we had an issue where, you for one reason or another didn't show up for something, to me that happens, and I get it, but you have to come behind that person, and instead of just coming down on them, lifting them up, at the end of the day, yes, was there an issue on this? But at the end of the day, you got to understand that was the salesperson. They're more on the emotional side. Great salespeople are emotional people. Operators are more kind of on the logical side. So you have to understand that, and you have to speak to them where they're at. And, at the beginning, that was kind of hard for me because I'm thinking about all of the things that they messed up on when, if that's where you meet them at, then it's like, man, this guy's just coming down on me. So when you make that shift to, hey, man, great job for actually going out there and getting a roof and everything. Let's go through what happened. Let's see where we messed up on. And it's just like the same thing we were talking about earlier with sales and with bringing a presentation together instead of just being reactive and overcoming objections on the back end. It's the same thing with operations. If you follow all of the steps up along in the beginning, everything should flow. And if there is an issue that we ran into, we can look back and see what did we not do on the front end and where did we end up at. But, instead of just coming down on them, lifting them up first, and then you can speak to that side of them as far as what they need to work on. And then they're going to be a lot more open to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And when we talk drive, I mean, I might as well hit a little bit of it. The yin and the yang, we got some different things going here. It's interesting because with some of the spiritual growth and the ego deaths recently, it's like when I'm asked that question, drive, it's different than it was 2-3 years ago. It's different when we started roofing and you saw Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and things. It's like, it's different. The drive now is truly like the impact, the passing of the torch. I mean, to like realize that like you're sparking people's souls and auras and frequency, and you're touching people that you never even meet. It's like a profound thing now to be sparking someone, and then they spark someone that sparks someone. And it's like to see the torch being passed as we scale this thing. It's so fulfilling to see that we're actually making lives better. We're actually making them better. We're improving people's well-beings. We're making them, go become more and reach for their highest potential. And I think the frequency now that I'm trying to understand is like God is within all of us. We're all connected. And it's like to go to a place of consciousness where I could literally feel time as an illusion, and that I could be sitting in your seat right now, that I could be playing you right now. So to be able to feel that in every moment where I come in contact with someone, that like I look at them as it's a mirror, and I could be playing them as, how would I treat that person? How would I treat that person if I'm looking at myself in the eye? We both are connected at that type of level. And I think now to realize that every relationship, I've had a lot of lessons along the way. Every relationship is a mirror. It's a reflection of what are you putting into that relationship. So if you have a relationship that is tarnished, that is not going the way that you think it should be going, that is negative per se, I don't believe there's any, negative or positives either. We can get into that. But it's like if you feel something is tarnished or off frequency, off alignment, it's you. So being able to look at the mirror and say, I'm going to clean the mirror. And then what I'm going to do to that mirror with that person is I'm going to exude love, the frequency of God. I'm going to exude love. And then all of a sudden that relationship is going to turn into something beautiful. So I think now what's driving is understanding that it is all a mirror. It is all a mirror. And now if I want to create heaven on earth in a sense, I can choose to create happiness. Happiness is internal, it's within, and I can create it by what I'm exuding out to everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving what you needed for the world.
Yeah.
You're constantly pouring your soul out, pouring your heart out, and you're also strong enough and courageous enough to do so, knowing that there might not be the outcome you're necessarily wanting, but as long as you pour out what you feel like you need to do, then you're going to get the outcome you need.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because you're not even worried about the outcome.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to pour,
because if you're
pure.
pouring love, it doesn't matter,
Right.
because it's only truth. It's God. So it's like it's gonna happen the way that it's supposed to happen.
Always.
You remove yourself from even the result. You know you're exuding what you need to exude at the highest level, and you're doing what's right. You're pouring into them the way that you would pour into yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that approach.
I think it comes back to like, don't focus on what you can't control, right? You
Yeah.
can control how you speak, how you treat people, how you carry yourself, your discipline, how you work, how you show up.
Yeah.
You can't control how another person feels, no
Yeah.
matter how hard you try. All you can do is be the best you can.
You can walk a specific way where maybe they see an alignment that maybe they want to grow from
Yeah.
it, but even then, it's still super difficult. I had a great conversation with Mike Johnson today, and he's like, "Man, you're intense." I'm like, "No, bro, I'm just happy with life." He was like, "What do you?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Bro, honestly, I'm gonna say this sounds crazy." I was like, "I feel like I'm floating right now. This is the first time I've never been not been tied down in my life. Like I have zero stress, I have zero fear, I have zero anxiety because at the end of the day, I don't have to. God is going to put me through what I need to go through, and as long as I keep my heart and my mind right the way it needs to be, I don't have to focus about those things." And it's just like the coolest feeling at 32 years old to just feel like I'm floating for the first time. Like I let go of all the weight, all the stress on me. I'm like, what do I got to stress about? Tomorrow's not guaranteed, and I'm going to live right now. And I don't know. It's just a weird feeling.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I feel a little heavy right now. We're trying to fix that with the workout regimen.
Feeling dangerous.
Floating, it's interesting. You talk about, we're talking about spirituality, and I had mentioned something about there is no bad. I think now understanding now as I move forward along the journey, because also the journey it's about who you're doing it with. It's about who you're experiencing it with, quite honestly, because it goes in a blink, right? And now understanding that everything is divine, everything is God. And so there can never be anything that I'm going to face along my journey now moving forward with my awareness of consciousness that is actually bad.
It's not.
It is only divine, and it is only a lesson. It is only something that I need in that moment to grow internally to the next chapter. So there's nothing ever I'm perceiving as bad. And a lot of people, when something happens to them, they're like, oh, the world's crashing, it's chaos, and they get in their mind. But for me now, it's like, oh, this is great. This is exactly what I'm supposed to face right now. God is telling me this is what I need to be going through. So I'm looking at it all with like excitement and positivity.
I talk about this a lot, and I call it the furnace, the identity, the happiness. And it's a circle of life is what I, speak on. But your furnace is your sword. It's a piece of steel. It goes in, it gets heated up, it gets expanded, it comes back out, and it gets beaten over and over again until it turns into a sword, right? The sword turns into a shape and an identity, right? And the identity turns into happiness. But every time I went through those furnaces, it ended up now looking back at it was the greatest moments of my life. It redefined me. It reshaped me. And so it's hard to re-trick your mind on happiness, but for me, happiness is gratefulness, opportunity, and joy. And even though I'm in the furnace, I can automatically control my mind going, I'm supposed to go through this. And God wants to throw me in this furnace. And then I think, why?
Yes.
Because he needs me to be an example for people that can't necessarily pull themselves out of the furnace. Right. And so that's kind of how I've started looking at life is it's not bad.
Nope.
I'm supposed to go through this. And so like we heard something a long time ago from a guy, Tony, and we want to share this with you too, is you're going up a mountain, right? And God's going with you. And you're climbing up the mountain, you're looking at all the trees, you're looking at all the stuff. And as you get up, you start getting to the top of the mountain, the peak, right? And you start looking over and you're like, man, I remember this person, I remember that person, and all these different people that you've helped or impacted in your life. And you're super excited about it. And God's holding you, pushing you all the way to the top. You get to the top and you see thousands of people and you're just ecstatic. And all of a sudden, God turns you around and all you can see is people. Millions and millions of people. And what does God say? He's like, this is how many people you were supposed to help. And it, dude, when somebody told me that, it gave me chills, because I was supposed to go through those things, and God was using me to go through those things to help these people. And that's how I look at life after he told me that. And I think that you guys are both doing that every single day and shining light on all the dark spots of life, business, relationships. And you guys are the walking example. I truly mean that.
Yeah. And that's y'all's drive at this point, right? Because you could step away, be perfectly happy, live an awesome life, but you're seeing the impact that you're having on these people. I mean, taking them from like working at McDonald's to making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and changing generations of a family. I think that's really what's pushing you guys forward. And that's where I see you light up for sure.
Yeah.
And even take the money out, right? Like, success to what is not money to us. It's not money to you guys. It's the fact that you guys are teaching lessons inside of there to have a happy life and make sure that little kid over there isn't doing what I went through.
Yeah.
You know, like, why do I work so fucking hard? It's because I don't want to put my kid through what I went through. That's why I get up every day. That's why I drive hard as I can, because I don't want to put my kid through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're a freaking amazing dad, dude. Why? Because you're a walking discipline example of how to be a great dad, how to lead, how to be the calm in the chaos. Like, I look up to you a lot in that space. I really do.
I mean, for me, it's a big responsibility, you know, and that's part of what drives me. And it's like the greatest thing that I can do is be the example. I can talk about everything that I can talk about with my son, but at the end of the day, it's always going to be the examples that they hold on to, you know. I mean, he's such an awesome kid, though. I mean, I've seen a lot of kids, and there's a lot of difficult kids out there. He makes it so easy, you know. I can't take all the credit, but you know, when we talk about impacting people, you know, I grew up as a Christian myself, as a Christ follower, and so a lot of the lessons that I grew up with, you know, it's one thing to say that you're a Christian, but it's another thing to live it, you know, and I haven't always lived it like I should, but, you know, what really clicked for me in my life is when I really held on to where Jesus says, you'll know them by their fruits. And what are the fruits of the Spirit? It's love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So these are the things that we really should be pursuing in our lives. You know, and to say that, you know, we want to pursue peace doesn't mean that you're going to be weak. You know, peace is something that you need to create for yourself. You need to create that for your family. You need to create that for your surroundings. And sometimes in order to have peace, you got to handle some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hitman.
You got to take somebody
Hitman
out.
say, you got to handle some shit. I know who to call.
Well, but that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and when you're talking about family, when you're talking about all of these guys and gals that we work with, you know, for me, it's about the example, because there's a lot of people that can talk a good game. You see it everywhere, but it's about really how are you living your life?
Oh yeah.
Behind closed doors and out in front of everybody. I mean, we spend so much time with the people that we work with. They're going to see you in your ups and your downs and all of that. And it's about how you handle all of that, because you don't, you know, Tony's a little unique, but not everybody's going to be on top of their game all the time, you know? So when you're always teaching somebody, whether you're up, whether you're down, people are watching, you know? And again, when it comes back to being a husband, being a father, you're the leader of your family, you know, and they're going to watch what you do. And that's just going to be part of what they see. And they, you know, I can see how, you know, even he can take on some of that identity as he's growing up, you know? So, but it's an awesome journey. But for me, it's like when I really started listening to that small voice inside, you know, some people call it your conscience. For me, I feel it's more the Holy Spirit speaking to me, you know, and it's about the muscle that I work is action. You know, as soon as I hear that voice, I'm going to move, you know, and that's something that you have to learn. That's something that you have to really grow into, you know, because it's a lot of times it's not going to be the easy thing. It's going to be a lot of times the most difficult thing. It's the thing that you don't want to do, but you learn that that's growth is on the other side of that thing. And that's what you start pursuing, and things really open up when you start to pursue that.
But most people don't take that action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the 7 fruits you just mentioned or whatever it was again.
Yeah. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
It's life right there.
Yeah.
That's the things you hyper focus on. I feel like you're gonna have a pretty consistent, happy life. To be honest with you,
It's a pretty good book.
I have a very crazy question to ask you. As the guy that's constantly fueling everyone's cup, and you're always having to pretend or be 100%,
Yeah.
how do you deal with, maybe you're at 10% and you're focused and people see you at 90%? Do they give you much grace when you slip?
Do they give you much grace when you slip? It's interesting when Tom said that I'm always on. You got to know there's so many battles internally that I've faced along the road.
Mm-hmm.
So many times that, I haven't shown that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think also when he talks about leading by example, it's like you're also showing that I don't put out there, if you notice, I don't put out a bunch of negativity. People know me as you're getting this positive aura. Even though some days I don't maybe feel it internally and I'll wake up and I'm not on my game, but I know I do have to be that example. And I think the best way, to be the example is you have to truly, you got to live it. You can't fake it. The minute that it becomes fraudulent, people will smell that. The minute that it becomes like your character is off and you start, doing things that are really off base, you lose a lot of people's trust around you. So I think understanding our roles in the organization and the people that have entrusted us to mentor them, it's like I take that very serious. And so I definitely try to make sure that I don't put out there anytime that I'm really going through something. You probably won't know it. You probably won't know it.
My second question after this, and I asked this question, don't answer this. I'm really asking you, and I really want you to think about it, and I don't want it to be somebody that's just super close to you. When's the last time, Tony, someone's truly, truly, truly pulled Tony aside and said, hey, brother, let's get a cigar. How are you doing mentally? How are you doing physically? And how are you doing with your family and your business?
When is the last time?
I'm not saying, hey, bro, how you doing? You're like, bro, I'm good. Not what I'm asking. Super intentional, pure. Go get a cigar. Come sit down by the beach with me. Tony, how we really doing?
It doesn't really happen. Not like that. Not at that level.
How many people do you do that to?
I feel like not enough.
But I feel like you do it a lot.
You
I know he'd back me up on that answer too, because I asked him the same thing, and he's like, I don't know.
That's part of, because you asked me that same question, and, I don't know. I don't think that I can't think back when anybody's asked me that,
In that way, but I
don't
mean,
know
how
if
many
I've really-
times have we went to lunch when one of us is going through something to just sit down? We don't maybe ask it in that
Yeah.
way, but we'll set up the
You know.
situation.
So-
Like, it's not a thing that you need to maybe ask, but we've done it for each other.
Yeah, because we know that,
Right?
Yeah, I guess that's a good point, because we
Yeah.
know that each other's got our back, each other's back, because we will go to lunch and we'll talk about stuff, and it doesn't have to be I guess it's just part of the normal conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing
So
is like,
that's a good point.
I feel like
Yeah.
our best friend shows up when you don't have to ask for it,
Yeah.
right? Like you already have, you can read each other. Tom's doing different things, he's not working out, or Tony's got a bunch of stuff going on. I need to check in with him without even having to tell him you're checking in with him, right? But the reason I asked that, guys, is Tony, how old are you?
37.
40?
40.
We asked this question to so many kids, adults, especially, men with in bigger businesses. And we ask women this as well, and we get a crazy answer. I don't know. And that's why we want to step up and have this conversation, because that's not okay, in my opinion. And you guys are leaders, but at the end of the day, like, we got to start checking in with each other. Like, I don't think men have a safe place a lot of times to be able to have that vulnerability without it, being a hard conversation or getting it thrown back in your face. You know what I mean? And so that's something we're really trying to focus on, is just check in with one person today. You know what I mean? And so it just kind of kills me, because you guys check in with so many people.
Yeah.
but like check on your strong friends. And like, that's why I want to have this conversation. Like, we really are genuinely asking you guys, like, how are y'all really doing?
Yeah, it's interesting because in you're checking in on your leaders often. So I guess to thinking now what you're saying, oh yeah, we're always checking in with them to see how they're truly doing with their family, with their kids, like diving deep for them. But yeah, it's not often. I feel like, if I would say for me, it's more of my close circle. It would be more of guys like Tom, my direct trainer that helped me go to the Olympia, Ray, who I train with every morning.
Guy's a wizard.
There's only certain people that I can open up and have those deeper conversations with for me. But you're right. I think more people need to lend a helping hand and just ask someone, how are you doing? Like, how can I help, and genuinely care? It's
Well,
real.
the reason I was very attracted to you after we did the photo shoot, do you remember really what you did? And you naturally do this to people, but
He flexed.
yeah. Conversation on our call. Dude, you started asking us about our dream. Who does that?
I'll answer. Nobody did that ever.
Why do we want to support everywhere and show up in different ways and do different things? Is because you actually care about us as humans. You're asking these questions that really, are like eye-opening.
Yeah.
Like, thank
Which
you.
call was that?
After we did the photo shoot, you're like, hey, I got this crazy idea. And that was when we started doing the TV show stuff.
Yeah.
And you were sitting in the office, which I think it ended up converting to Kurt's office. But I specifically remember, asking questions like more in depth with who we are as people and like what our vision was too. Like, you've had those conversations. It wasn't just, hey, I want you guys to do this, this, and this. And so that's something super important, is question asking. And so,
Getting
I feel like
away
when
from the transactional relationships.
Yeah, and I feel like checking in with all the people we check in on, we don't ever have to ask for anything. People just want to do it and feel appreciated. And so, like, do you guys ever struggle with, constantly providing all that energy to people? Does that ever drain you guys? I know you've done it for so long.
Tony's more the energy guy.
I know it drains. I know it drains him.
What's yours? What's yours? What's yours?
What's my
do we ever get? What was the question?
Like, do you guys ever get drained?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How do you deal with it? How do you deal with your drain? How do you reset your cup?
For me, it's more of you just I just got to get refocused. There's always going to be something there's always going to be some kind of negativity that we can focus on, but in everything that's negative, you gotta, like, for me, I'm always trying to find the opportunity in it. With every problem, you can look at it as a problem, or you can look at it as an opportunity. And then kind of what we were talking about before, it's like, I feel that God takes you through things that you don't know why you're going through them at that moment. So I always look at, what's the thing that God is trying to teach me through this thing. All of these things that we go through in our life, they're not just meant to be a time in our life that is here and gone. We should be learning something from every single piece of it. So what should I be learning from this thing that I'm going through right now? And that turns out to be something that's really healthy on the other side of it, So I feel like it's either something that I need to learn, or maybe there's somebody that's watching me go through this and seeing how I handle it. Again, back to my family. It's like, they see what I go through, when I come home. It's like
they see you. Do you feel like they really see the internal or the external? Well, because you're very good at being neutral.
Well,
but like,
it's
who do you open up to, Tom? Like, fuck, dude. I know you're Hitman. I know you're a superhero. Like, you're 240, but like, I'm serious.
Well,
like,
I mean,
you hold all this in, bro. Like, how do you fucking do it?
Especially as a man, you want to show strength. Again,
what is strength, though? That's my point.
There we go. We're getting into it now.
No, I'm serious. Like, what is strength as a man?
Strength for me is more like perseverance. Even when things are looking down, even when things are looking difficult, you find a way. So, being able to open up to people is great, but for me, I do try to get through a lot of things on my own, but I do have friends and I've got family around me. It's just, there's not, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of things that through my network that I can't overcome.
And I think for me, that question of like strength and what is it to be a man kind of thing, I think now it's like, The book, the Four Agreements. If you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it. Don Miguel Ruiz. It's just incredible about actually melting away the belief systems and agreements that are created when we're coming up as children that are just given to you. You're told you gotta move this way by society. To be a man means this. To be, respected means that. To get praise, you need to do this. So I think melting all that away and being able to actually now, from my journey and my example, showing other men that you can be exactly what you want to be authentically, and you don't have to worry about what people think. I think for me, that's the strength now in my journey, is showing that I don't have to move the way that someone else is telling me I need to move or thinks that is best for society. And I think that's very, very dangerous at times, obviously, in my role and position. But I don't care. And that's a beautiful thing. It's like to be able to walk in that truth and say, I don't care what people think. I only care about how I'm moving and if it's authentic to me. And for those that need to see that, or that will see that will spark them to think that same kind of way, that's all that matters. For the naysayers and those that look at me differently because of it, I don't really care. So for me, that's my strength now, is walking and being able to be vulnerable at times and open at times when the book may tell me I should be closed and I should move this way. I think it's throwing away the book for me now and being able to live my life the way that I want to live it.
Yeah, and I feel like with even recently, man, like there was phases where you were putting a lot on social and then back away from social and like be super honest because I care about you and I love you. We saw sadness, bro. Like I was like, man, I miss Tony dude, we just felt like we're like, man, I can't wait till he gets back into being able to do what he loves to do in certain spaces, man.
Yeah.
Like right now I see you and I'm like, this is Tony.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does not have to close anything. He doesn't have to read off this book. He's Tony. Right
Oh, there
now.
was but you know of some things.
Yeah.
There was some sadness because
I agree.
I wasn't living in truth. I was having to live in a different way that I didn't want to live. It wasn't authentic.
Right.
And so now I've even to the point where at one point I had people controlling my social media. It's like LinkedIn going on, TikTok going on, YouTube going on, all these people controlling things. And then I just started thinking, I'm like, this is not me. I got someone else or a robot or someone else responding to someone on my behalf. I'm like, I'm done with that. I'm going to move organically and put out in the world what's true to me. And that's it. I'm not going to fake anything. And I think just moving that way has shifted things and allowed me to just open up my peace, my happiness.
Dude, we've seen so much
my
more joy,
well-being.
bro. Just joy, the word joy. Like
We see it on your face, man.
this is you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's just amazing, man. We're getting pretty close to wrapping this up.
Yeah.
But I want to ask a couple more questions. We do this at the end of every podcast. We each ask a question. We all have to answer it. Okay. So you kind of have to think like, oh, what would I ask? One question, you got to answer it. He's got to answer it. So think about it for 2 seconds. Okay. So I'll start. I'll just throw one off the top of my head. What is your future self telling you right now?
I'll let him go first.
Tom's over here. I'm gonna get it.
What is my future self telling me right now? I think a lot of it is to trust the process and to just enjoy the journey. You know, that's one of the things that I've tried to do throughout my life, is not get so wrapped up in where we're at and what we're doing right now, but also enjoy the journey, you know, especially with the family, you know, because a lot of times we can get so wrapped up in what we do, and then we come home and it's like, you got to enjoy this right now. Because, you know, I mean, time goes by so fast, you know, so if you lose sight of that, then, you know, you just can't be so one-sided.
Mr. Goat. That's a great answer, by the way.
It's great.
You still thinking?
I would say along the same lines. What I was feeling, because I got to be honest, was stay on the path. You're on the right path, and I think I felt the same thing of trusting that everything's going to work out divinely the way that it should. Trust in God and walk in the most purest form of light and love that you could walk in, and everything that shouldn't be aligned with you will melt away, and everything that should be within your frequency and vibration will come to you, as long as you are in that vibration and frequency of love. Love is the key. Love is the answer to all. Love is the answer.
We just made a new clothing design. Love always wins.
Love always wins.
It's biblical.
It's the only thing.
Do everything in love.
Truly.
Love always wins.
Just how you treat your people, everyone around you, like it does. When you break it all down, you can't lose.
Yeah. Toasty? Yeah, I have to ask you a different question because I probably asked you.
Yeah, well, I've answered this a few times on the pod. I'll answer that one real quick, though. I tell myself every day, think bigger. I'm thinking too small. I'm always on next day, next week, next year. Think bigger. I got to go bigger. So that's where he helps.
That's good. I like that.
Who's that?
I need it.
Who's
Don't you have to answer your own question?
I mean, I've asked this question before, so I can answer it.
Yeah, answer it.
But we're here now in the now.
Yeah,
we
they
don't know
need to
the
hear
answer.
They need to hear it.
Like, I'm not worried about the past.
Hey,
I haven't seen those episodes.
Yeah, you got to go watch the episode before I talk. No.
Yeah. Go study.
Truly is just align my mind, my heart, and my gut, and that's all I need to focus on.
Yeah.
If I do those things and those all three things line up with whatever I got in front of me, then it's going to work. Yeah. And that's something that's super important to me that I just recently learned was like, if those three things align, it's guaranteed going to happen. Because I have faith, I have trust, and I have, the power of belief. And I think that's kind of where I'm at right now is it goes back to both of y'all is like just trusting it. Yeah. Trusting the crazy, I guess, is actually trust you're crazy. That's what my future self would tell me. Because it's already worked.
Oh, yeah. Love it. Love it.
All right, my question. Let's see here. What are we going to hit you guys with? You're not going to like this question.
You say you're not going to like this question.
There's two parts to this. Are you happy? Truthfully, respectfully. And what is happiness to you, if you could define it?
I don't think that was too difficult for me.
Let's hear it, hit man.
So for me, like, again, happiness for me isn't things, as especially in American society, that's kind of where everybody is focused on is all of these things and what's the next thing that I'm chasing. For me, it's the whole idea of ego is gone. For me, it's like I was saying, the journey and really just trying to be satisfied with who I am and always looking for the opportunity for the next growth, So understanding that, I'm satisfied with who I am while also knowing that I'm not where I want to be in the final ending,
Yeah.
So it's for me, as long as I'm always improving in something, that's what makes me happy. As long as I'm taking care of what I need to at home, as long as I'm taking care of what I need to at work, and I'm taking care of myself. I mean, that's what makes me happy.
Growth makes you happy.
Growth. I mean, we just can't stay stagnant.
Nope.
You like the challenge, just like everybody.
Got to build, man. Let them build.
Y'all are the same for real.
I know. He's just in my brain right now, taking my words. So I love that. Man.
That was a great answer,
Tony. What we got?
Yeah, definitely happy. I mean, there was there's been moments along the journey where, there's been darkness. There's been moments of darkness, but that was a choice. It's a choice of consciousness. It's understanding that happiness is a choice and it's all internal. And I think now understanding, Tom said, the ego, like when you're truly detached from everything and understanding that nothing outside of you, no relationship, no thing can actually make you happy, that's where you actually find happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many people are looking for all these external things. And that's where I've had darkness, is not understanding that concept. So I think now for me, it is a state of being, it is a frequency, it is a state of consciousness. And I know that I can go tap into it at any moment. And that any time that I find myself out of that frequency, being grateful for everything that I have will pull me right back into that frequency. And I think really the beauty now is just living a life where you have the options and the freedom to be yourself. It sounds cheesy, but it's just being yourself authentically you, unapologetically you. That's happiness for me at this moment in time.
Beautiful answers.
I love it.
Some of the best ones.
Yeah, no, these are great.
For
And
real.
that's why this podcast is awesome, because like you guys, I love that you guys have built big businesses and done it together. I think that shit's so cool.
Yeah.
You got to answer the question first. So.
Yeah,
Before you move on.
yeah. Respectfully, I'm happy. And you know how I feel about happiness. I think there's a way to have constant happiness as long as you provide the correct dopamine throughout your day of what actually brings you joy, gratefulness, and opportunity. You know, if you're, chasing all these different materialistic things, or you're chasing these wrong dopamines, then of course you're not going to be happy. But if I know that growth is going to make me happy every day, being creative every day is going to make me happy, movement's going to make me very happy. When's the last time, people have heard the water in the creek? When's the last time they heard a bird? When's the last time they were still? Non-negotiable things that truly bring me joy will make me have a joyful, happy life. And you start deleting things that you're doing for everybody else to see, or, what they told you should do. Like you're saying, you start developing this identity of happiness because you're truly yourself. The day that I can look in the mirror and not crave or need or want anything is actually when I'm happy. And right now I'm not necessarily craving anything. I'm just working on effort and, doing the things I love doing every day with the people I love, and I don't have to worry about it.
I love that.
And my faith right now, my faith is the best it's been. Like I said, I feel like I'm floating just because I feel like there's so much alignment with the people around and everything's clicking. And it's crazy because the reason things clicked is because it broke. And it's like we were sprinting so hard. We were working from January to August. August was the first time we were home for a 7-day period. That's how much we were traveling.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we just hit this like slow spot, and it was like, wait a minute. I don't want to rely on anybody else ever for a paycheck. I'm like, Chris, we need to build something. Like, this is why we had this breaking point to turn into a building point. And it was like we finally got to see it. And that's when I feel like right now we're on like the best alignment of what we're going to be doing with our life, is because it's actually chasing our purpose and our passion, not a paycheck. And so that's where I'm at right now.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Man, I'm going to have to close this one.
Yeah, go
Should've- I
ahead.
should've
Toast,
started.
toast
Hey,
Malone.
you got to close your own. Is that it?
Yeah, I like that idea.
Wow. You
Close
gotta
your own
close
take.
Close your own question, man.
We gotta
question.
trademark that.
You
That's
can't be
Close your
fire.
own.
You can't be asking it without giving your answer.
That's right.
You got to put them in the hot seat.
Close
too.
your own.
For me, I'm definitely happy. I think I had to find joy. Let me just back this up. So when I was a structural design engineer, I was miserable every single day walking into work, right? I didn't find any joy in that. I could have. I chose not to. Different mindset. When I quit, ecstatic, right? But it faded off.
Yeah.
Why did it fade off? Because I thought I was going to quit my job, start this career, and have all this time to do whatever I wanted to do, as well as have a business and have the freedom to do all that, right?
Yeah.
Not the case. You work 3 times as much. You're stressed out all the time. You don't know where money's coming in. You don't know where you're living. The food's going to be on your plate. All this stuff, right? Later on, we start to find some success in the business and get happy again. And then it goes up and down and up and down and up and down. I'm like, why do I feel this way? I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. I'm building a business with my best friend. I'm traveling the world. I'm no longer in a cubicle. And I'm passionate about what I'm doing. And so happiness, I had to find it. I had to find joy because I was already happy. God had already given me everything I needed to be happy. I had to find it. I had to listen to him, and I had to step back and think about what actually made me happy. There's two words you guys said: peace, freedom. Those are the 2 things that make me happy. If I'm peaceful, I'm living in the moment. I'm present, like we talked about. I'm not focused on the outcome. I'm not focused on the past. I'm focused about the here and the now. It's powerful. And if I have the freedom to wake up and do what I want to do every single day and be peaceful doing it, that is happiness to me.
Yeah.
I love that
Absolutely.
answer.
Absolutely.
That makes-
Gold. That's gold right there.
I got a reel. Cut it.
Yeah.
Man.
Jace, tag that one.
Fire.
Who's up?
Who's up? You guys got
Tommy?
questions?
Oh, we gotta do a
Come
question.
on.
Yeah,
Tom the
absolutely.
Terminator. Come on, Honey Badger. I mean,
Hitman.
Hitman. I mean,
You with a, what'd you call him?
What?
The logic? What the logicator?
Logic Man.
man of many nicknames. The
Logicator.
MacGyver.
So
logicator.
with everything that we do and everything that we achieve, what continues to drive? What continues to drive you?
Go ahead. Unless you're
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was driven by a lot of different things when we started working together. I was mostly driven by money, those things to fill happiness, those voids inside of us, and I wanted those things because I never had them. I come from a family where my dad was unemployed for a majority of his life. My mom was a teacher, and I wanted those things that we never had. I did. You know, having some financial success in what we do, by no means are we like, you know, stuff in our pockets full of hundreds, but like we're doing pretty well at this point. What keeps us going, or at least what has created this new drive in me that pushes me to the next level, is seeing the impact we're having on people on our team and people around us. And I'm finding a hunger for more of that, because that is truly what I've been searching for this whole time without knowing it. And it's kind of just beautifully come up in front of our face, because obviously God is showing us where we need to go. And I'm really seeing that, and I'm really listening to him. And he's like, you don't want the light on you. I've never wanted that. But if I can be a mirror and reflect that light back up to him by having eyes on me, that is my purpose. Positive impact. That's what keeps me going. That's what I want. I don't want to be on social media. I don't want people to know everything about me, but I will do that time and time again if God's calling me to do it to impact the world.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. Just to go back to clarify your question, what drives me now versus before? Or what was your question?
Yeah, what's currently driving you? What currently drives you after, with everything that you achieve on a regular basis? What makes you continue to drive, and what really pushes you?
Yeah, so my drive first started with not being good enough. And I want to show people that they are. That really is something that I, want to provide to the world of belief. But I think the drive comes back to 24 hours. And this is a question I'm going to ask you guys. Is like, you have 24 hours to live starting right now. Right? What's the first thing that pops in your head? I'm asking you.
Family.
Yeah, same for me.
That's it.
So this is where my life changed, because I was like, if I knew that was my answer, which my answer was people. If that's my answer, then why am I not hyper focusing people versus chasing a business and doing all these things? And it's like, if I can think about 24-hour periods, I think about people. I have no anger, I have no bitterness, and it goes back to love always wins.
Mm-hmm.
So my drive comes from helping people, identify their dream and then having them execute it and turning it into reality. That's where my drive comes, because I have a tattoo, create the life you want to live. If I die tomorrow, I've wrote books, I've wrote my own stories, I've lived the life I wanted to live. And I just love that, because if I died, I wouldn't regret anything. But I know most people go through their whole life and they regret most of it. And so I think if we can share the other side of life, of what life actually means to us, to other people, then I think that's kind of my drive, is just people and purpose.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, you live that.
I am, bro.
Limitless.
I've gone
Limit.
so many different lanes of life, and it's like, man,
Mm.
and I say this all the time, but you build your own lane, there's no traffic.
Yeah.
Facts.
So, it's like, man, I have all these people told me what I should do or how I should do it. And in reality, you go ask them the question respectfully, are you happy? Do you love what you do? And is your family happy? And, all these other questions. It's like, quit taking advice from people you would trade lives with. If you're not living the life that I look up to see, and I actually know the details behind it, then I'm just not going to listen to you. I'm going to go design the life I want to live.
Absolutely.
Call me crazy.
So I'm going to go two-part with that, because I want to take it back to early, for those that are listening. I think something that drove me early and often from high school that created this whole path for me was understanding that I wanted to make my parents proud. Like I had a name. I was the only combination of my two parents, and they're just special people. And like to just throw that all away and then not go fulfill the potential, you know, to throw all the lessons, all those moments of the now as parents that they gave me for those 18 years and just not go and like live a beautiful life would be just so disrespectful to my name and my parents. And I think that drove me. I think wanting to make them proud was a driver early, which, the relationship with my parents is just beautiful because, you know, now we can really talk and have these beautiful moments of them running a business, us running a business, and I can feel they're proud of who I've become. I think now what's driving is the freedom, is the options, is the ability to give my kids anything that they want and not have to think about it. I think the driver now is just having that freedom of being able to create that peace, and freedom is really what you want, not after any one specific thing at this point in time.
Yeah, and I want to go back to like your first driver, because I think a lot of people are there. They're trying to prove something to someone or make somebody proud. And it's important to know that, for one, if that person's not already proud of you, then they might not be your person, first of all, or not the best family member.
Yeah.
And second off, that's only going to get you so far. Because in a way, I lived that, but in the opposite. So I wasn't trying to make my parents proud. I was trying to prove that I'm nothing like my father, and I'm the exact opposite. But that's a limiting belief in a way. It may not seem like it, but it is, because if I just try to do everything that he's not, well, eventually I'll get to a point where that's true, which it already was. I didn't know it. But then where do I go from there?
Yeah.
You've climbed.
But you know what's wild about it when we talk about it? How we were on, it's so beautiful how divine it all is through God. Because we were both walking through our paths, being driven out of a different part of the ego, trying to prove that you weren't your dad. And I'm trying to prove that, you know, and make them proud. And at that time, though, it's divinely perfect because our ego was driving us in a healthy way to get us the lessons that we need to become who we are today, to have higher understanding. So it's like, it was never a bad thing in the time, but it's interesting to hear that we were both on opposite sides, but still growing and moving forward and trying to improve.
You got to find that opportunity.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Mine was actually even in between y'all's. I feel like, because being enough, I did want to make my dad proud, but I was driven by fear, not effort or proud of. So my constant thing was like, I got to drive so hard in order to accomplish something that's untouchable.
Yeah.
And it'd never be touchable until the finally of the day. That's what I said, is like, I know I'm enough. I don't need the validation from my dad anymore to know that. Yeah. And that's something that I got to let go of a long time ago. And that was literally one of the biggest things that finally pushed me into where I needed to be. Hitman.
Yeah, man, I think one of the biggest things that drives me, I mean, when I was young, it was like, I've changed a lot in my life, but when I was young, I pursued comfort and happiness and all of these things, you know, but it was like, that's very fleeting, you know. So some of the biggest lessons that we learn in life are the ones that are, you know, we messed up the most on when we were kids, you know. I had a great childhood growing up and everything, and then I went through some hard times, but those were all self-inflicted. So, and it was that pursuit of comfort, you know. So like for me, I there was a time in my life where I just flipped that. I completely flipped that. And now I pursued the discipline, you know. And one of my greatest examples is my own father. You know, he owned an auto body shop for 40 years. And I can remember, I grew up in that auto body shop. I watched him run it, and I watched, you know, employees that he had come in and sit in his office, and they would talk about life, you know. So it was, he is a great example for me, and something that really does drive me as far as, you know, his work ethic, you know, just his discipline, everyday execution. And I think that's a lot of kind of behind the scenes where I get that as well, you know, is where I strive to be. But also that, and just, you know, all of the people and all of the family around me, it just is it's a big responsibility that when you win, it feels great that you're winning for everybody around you.
That part. Say that again.
As far as the winning. So, I mean, there's the weight of the responsibility, but winning and want you actually accomplish and provide for everybody around you. And that's what, not just financially, but also just supporting everybody, kind of like what we've been talking about the whole entire time. It's very fulfilling.
Yeah. You're that guy.
Yeah.
Hitman.
Love it.
Before I ask the question, I know we got to wrap up here. We've been going a minute, but I think I just got this download coming, like you say, the guts feeling the Holy Spirit. Like I get these downloads. I call them downloads of like when I'm now asked driver, what's driving you?
It's like the Matrix.
I know, right? Neo,
You're like
right?
ChatGPT
Neo's
over here.
in it.
Throw it in ChatGPT. Remember it.
I won't go too deep into this, but I think, the collective consciousness is understanding that we as humans have evolved for so long. And I think now realizing what also is driving me is also to have a impact and a positive impact on that collective consciousness of what I'm going to leave here.
Legacy.
To continue on the human evolution, where it's like we were here and we sparked something incredible for us to continue and mankind to evolve even higher because of our frequency and light here in this world, in this time.
Yeah.
It's a special time right now to be here. I
we
can
have
feel it.
We have a quote around that is we don't want to live forever, but we want to build something that does. And for ours is helping people unlock the potential of their gifts, but then teaching people how to unlock other people's gifts.
Yeah.
So it just keeps going. That's really what me and his legacy are.
Yeah. You mentioned the word dream earlier, so I'll hit a simple question here. You had said something about dream, and it came to me. The question would be: is there one thing in your mind, as kids, we dream and we have this such imagination, this creative imagination on like, what we could see our life to become, or these special moments in time that we want to create. And I truly believe, like, you can create your own reality. You can manifest anything that like comes into your mind. You can create that. And is there anything in particular that's been in your mind in the last year that you're like, man, that would be a beautiful dream. That would be a beautiful something to create in my life in the future, in a future moment of the now?
That's a big question, my friend. First of all, that's not a small
Simple question. Ha ha ha.
Very simple.
Very simple. Very simple.
I mean, Chris knows me, and he can probably speak to this. Is my brain doesn't stop dreaming.
Yeah.
I can draw the whole new facility with my eyes closed. It's all I can think about. My brain hyper obsesses over dreaming and visions. So for me, there's a couple different options. And to be honest, we're sitting in one.
Yeah.
Which is the crazy part.
Look at that.
Turn dream to reality. And it's like
that.
we're sitting in it. I don't know how many times we've thought about this or did this, but one day we're sitting on a skyscraper in Dallas. And I remember we've done this twice now. Chris is an executor just like Tom. It's like, Chris, when's the last time you've dreamed? Right. And he had to think about it for a second. Right. And it was a really good moment for me and him to go, wait a minute, we're doing this together. Right. And then one day we pull up out here in the parking lot and I'm like, Chris, look at this. Look at over here. He's like, yeah, it's grass. I'm like, no, Chris. It's not just grass. It's not. He's like, what are you talking about?
Grass.
There wasn't even grass. It was dirt. So.
That's good.
I'm like, no, Chris, we have to dream. What do you see?
Oh,
what does the cabinets look like? What does the lighting look like? What is the wall? Where's the logo? Where's the chairs? And my brain just constantly hyper obsesses over that. And so I think what I've visually seen recently is me and Chris sitting in two chairs in a TED Talk where we're speaking to kids, adults, to help them create the life they want to live through identifying what their happiness is and actually helping them turn their dream into a reality and living a life they actually love living.
Yeah.
And so for me and him is like, I know where I'm going personally, but I also have visions of me and Chris. I personally know I'm going to be speaking to stages. It's something that I've seen for a long time. And it's the only thing that scares me. It's the only thing that makes me uncomfortable. Like he knows me. I don't get uncomfortable anytime. Like, bro, I'll swim with sharks. I'll skydive.
Great.
My heart rate stays the same.
I can't wait to see this dream come about. I want to be front row for this.
It's already started. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, I've started speaking, and it's just that's
great.
my dopamine release that actually goes off. And so that part of it, but then also the other exciting part of the dream is building it with my best friend. I can see these compounds, and I have like 8 people in my head that I'm like, this person's here, this person's here, this person's here. And we're literally creating what we call our next phase of what we're doing is XV, which is on my shin, the logo, but the background's an Olympics logo. So it's all these circles intertwined, right? And our quote we live by is your circle's not if your circle doesn't inspire, it's not a circle, it's a cage.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do is connect all these circles together.
Yeah.
In different industries and make it all one big family community. Yeah. So that's the dream. I know that was long, but that's where my brain doesn't like to sleep.
Beautiful.
So I think we have alignment in a lot of ways. Obviously, we wouldn't be working together if that wasn't the case. But I felt a calling, and maybe that's a lot of him telling me certain things at times because that's where the good push comes from. But I've had this dream a lot where, you know, we're walking out on stage kind of similar, and we're in like AT&T Stadium, and everyone's just going absolutely bonkers, and they're all there not for us. They're there because they believe in what we're building, what we're growing, and the impact we're trying to have on the world. We're not going to get up there and sell them a program. We're going to get out there and give them value, give them everything, pour into these people. And so like, when you talk about dreaming, I don't know what it is we're actually speaking about. I think it's mostly just like, what's the biggest thing I can impact people with? And what I've felt a natural calling to is to show people, if you're not happy with your life, you can change it. Yeah. You can create the life you want to live because I've done it. Yep. We've done it. Yep. No matter what situation you're in, whether you're starting out, coming off college, and you're in an industry job for a while and you're unhappy, yet you've spent the last 4 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars of your money, your family's money, or someone else to get this education, and you'd be wrong to step away from it, kind of similar to you dropping out of college. Like, you put all these expectations and you gain all these responsibilities in life, and then when you realize you're not happy, you feel stuck. But you're never stuck. There's always opportunity. You have to find it. You have to create it even sometimes. And you're almost digging in the dark until you hit that bar of gold in the ground, and you're like, damn, this is awesome. And once you find it, you just want to share that experience with everyone. Yeah. And that's where I'm at. Yeah. Because when I think back 5 years ago, I was sitting in a cubicle right now. Yeah. I was at the end of the week. I was watching the clock, waiting to get off work so I could go have some beers with my buddies, get shit-faced on Saturday, wake up on Sunday, repent, and then go back to work on Monday. It's not a life to live. 15 days of vacation a year, miserable 70% of your life. It's not worth the money you're getting paid. I'd rather be a bum on the street doing what I love every single day versus the richest man in the world and miserable when I walk in the office. And I still believe that today. You put me on the street, I'm still happy. Why? Because I know that you can't keep me down. I've already come back from nothing. I've already built something from nothing. My mom's a teacher. My dad couldn't even hold down a normal job. I've already exceeded that expectation. Everything else is whatever I want to make it. And that's exciting to me. Yeah. I want to show people that they can do that for themselves. And I want to empower them and give them the confidence because I know how much it did for me. I had him. Without him, I don't know where I'd be today. And that's not with anything business related. It's all about personal, mental, and checking in with one another. Like, having support truly from people that want to see you win is so important. And I want to create an environment that provides that for people. I think that's what we're building.
That's what we're building.
Yeah. So.
And we know the crazy thing about the AT&T Stadium is we've never talked about that.
Yeah, we actually you brought that up.
Look at that.
Like, what is
pulling some things out today, folks?
It's true though, man.
That's great.
Every time we go to a concert or like in a venue for something, I'm like, that's us, man.
Or the worst is going to a speaking engagement and you're like, me and Kurt, you're sitting in the stands and you're like, this should be us. We have even more value or more information on life. Like I go speak at these places now and everybody's talking about money, and then I go in there and talk about life, and everybody comes and talks to me after the
for sure
the speaking engagements. For sure. And it's like, wait a minute, do we have life wrong? Yeah. A little bit? I don't know, maybe not. Hitman, hit me.
As far as a dream, I mean, personal dream, it's hard to
hold on. Is it to be 240 and bigger than Tony? I need to know.
The what?
I says it to be 240 and bigger than Tony.
He was bigger than me at one point. He was.
Well, I mean,
before bodybuilding,
I was 240 like last week. Now I just cut down to 235.
He had to cut his door out just to get through it.
As far as dream, I mean, I know that we talked earlier about letting go of ego and things like that. For me, my dream, it's hard for me to answer that. You know, for me, it's I'm thinking more of what I focus on. You know, and it's I think with what I'm focused on right now is what we're trying to still accomplish. You know, I mean, we're working to be the first $1 billion company.
And then after you get that billion, it still doesn't matter because you're going to want to keep going.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's so for me, it's like my dream, I guess, is I'm thinking about more in the future and even after I die, you know, going to heaven and what have I done with myself on this earth? You know, part of me feels like, you know, when we get to heaven, it's not just going to be us sitting around and just worshiping God, but also we're going to have a job to do. We're going to have something that he's going to have us doing, you know? So I look at life as more preparation for heaven, you know? So everything that he's making us go through in this life isn't for us just to learn this or that, but to become something that later he's planning to use, not just in this world, but also in the next. So dream, I guess that's where I go to, is not just here on earth, but also where we go afterwards.
Awesome.
Well, shout out God. Hope y'all have. I hope y'all have roofs up there for Tom.
We coming.
Just give him something to build. He'll be all right.
We building in the kingdom.
Logic roofers coming in hot.
No, it's good because you did say, you know, when you rip the ego, it's like then you're not trying to create these attachments. But I think, you know, still there's always going to be for me some healthy piece of ego. You can't help it, right, at this point. And I think for me, a dream that I could share with all of you that has like come to me since I was actually a kid. It's nuts that it's actually been like in my heart and soul since I was like a little teenage kid in sports. I love athletics. I love sports. I went to school to be.
I already know what you're going to say, but
I went to school to be a sports agent. Like I thought I was going to go to the NFL. Like that was my dream. And I love what sports teaches. I love the culture. I love team building. That's what I've loved in sales, is building a team of like brothers that are like fighting and rowing in the same direction. So I think a dream of mine that would be fun in this reality would be to own a sports team, like to have your own sports team, whether it be NFL, NBA, like to be a part of that and like create a culture and like walk into your own stadium and build that would be amazing. And then another one I'd have to share with you is a dream to also coach kids. I think now, you know, having children, I think, you know, pouring into leaders and men, I think seeing that impact, I think eventually either coaching kids in sports or having some kind of, you know, facility where kids come. And it's not just like the physical aspect of training, like taking my bodybuilding background and understanding of sports and athletics and nutrition, not just the training, but the mental that we're discussing, like pouring into kids in their teenage years of giving the spark mentally to understand how to face the adversity and the things that they're going to have to overcome in life, and to give that spark to those kids, the next generation, I think would be a beautiful thing in this life.
I want to be a part of that. So when you do that, let me know.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we're going to be doing this online platform, man, is mental, physical entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's going to be huge. And you had an idea that my brain sparked with the stadium is like, imagine all the people in the stadium you're now teaching it culture and mindset to. Imagine them being able to come in there when there's not a game and learn mindset and faith and really pouring into who you are as a person, man. Like, that's how you change lives, man.
Yeah.
Is being that person. So like I see it. I've always seen it.
Yeah.
Like you have that light that shines very far, my friend. So, and then you're a reflection. You're a mirror, bro. Whatever you connect with, you make it better. Same with you, Tom.
Yeah.
Like everything y'all do, man, you're always providing help or growth or guidance, and we appreciate it, man. Like appreciate y'all's time for coming out here. First off, like I know you guys is busy as shit, and there's a lot of roofs that need to be fixed, Tom. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna hold tight. But tomorrow morning, you better get after it.
We're gonna be all right. This
But,
was beautiful. This
hey,
was
this
awesome
is
to open
amazing,
up
guys.
this way.
We really appreciate y'all taking the time to be here. And every time we talk to one of you guys, we just get lit up with energy.
Yeah.
So you fill our cups. So I hope we
Yeah.
did the same for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you filled ours, no question.
Any
Appreciate
last
you guys
words?
as well.
Thank you.
Guys, XV Pod with the Hitman and the Goat.
Let's go, baby.
But you better watch out for both of them. I'm telling you, because they're both coming.
We
And if you
coming.
need a roof, I know a guy.
Just saying. Just saying.
We out.
We out.
Appreciate it.